Hey there, I'm Kristen. I'm going to share some divine messages with you. Okay, so stick around if you're interested. I'm using the Influence of the Angels tarot deck. It's a very cool deck. One of my favorites. All right, let's tap in. Let's ask our angel saints, ancestors, and guides into our space to provide love and divine messages for our highest and greatest good. We are surrounded in divine white light. So it is, and so it will be. All right. What are we tapping into today? Let's see. We have the Chariot, the Devil, and the Fool. Okay. We're just going to put something over the Devil because they're very naked in this card. The Chariot, the Devil, the Fool. Interesting. I feel like there was a lot of I feel like you went to the school of hard knocks. I feel like you very much could have overcome this. All right. I feel like there is something that you have been freed from too with this Fool card. I feel like you're also in this energy of innocence, purity. You might be very youthful. You might be playful. But I'm also getting you walk with spirit. So I feel like with the Fool and the Devil, I feel like you learned what you needed to learn. Okay. The Chariot is you're a warrior, right? You're here to battle. You're here to persevere and overcome. And I'm getting you're free and clear. Interesting. I feel like it's time for new experiences. It's like the Devil doesn't have its grip on you. Okay. What's the fourth card? The Star. Look at how beautiful. Yeah, I feel like you've healed from your maybe codependency or past wounds, past traumas, past conflicts, even attachments to things. Okay, so I feel like whatever's been overcome here with the Chariot, I feel like this was a catalyst for you to be in your very healing, loving, optimistic, hopeful energy. I feel like you lead with faith. Okay, you lead with faith. You're someone who's very rooted in their faith, and that's beautiful. I feel like you walk in the light, right? Also, the Fool's in the light, as well as the Star. The Star is illuminated, so you very much have an illuminated subconscious, and that's beautiful. I'm getting you're meant to share this. You're meant to be lighthearted and share this. It's kind of in the air too. So this kind of tells me in and out. Maybe you're not meant to stay for a long time. You tend to come into people's lives for a short time and then you move on because you're meant to spread this light. Okay, so it's they tried to prevent you from spreading your light. Look at the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Okay. I feel like they worked through someone to try to do this. Here's this Four of Pentacles. Yeah, wanting to kind of hold on to the past, not wanting to change or do anything different, but expecting a different outcome. Someone might have been promised something that would get them into a better financial standing or things would look better for them. Let's see what this Four of Pentacles is. High Priestess. Yeah, I feel like someone's still holding on to your energy. And then we have the Empress. Look at High Priestess and the Empress coming out together. And the Four of Pentacles. Okay, and then the Temperance. Wow. Wow. This is some major arcana. Okay, check this out. All right. This is some beautiful energy. I feel like, there's, I feel like someone's loss and someone else's gain. Okay. That's what I'm getting. And I'm getting someone may have failed a test, or maybe someone was tested and their true character has come to light. I feel like somebody was meant to have some sort of like there's something that you're meant to do here. So this could represent you, and how you show up in your own reality. You might be someone who has to like transmute a lot. You might have like realized that you're someone who does a lot of inner alchemy. You're someone who's tapping into many different ways, seeing things from, both perspectives, the light and the dark, and then being in this neutral, being able to like neutralize this. It's kind of like going into the spiritual realms and then grounding this here in the physical with this heavily rooted like love, Venus, Earth, creatrix energy. It's like co-creating with the universe here. Okay, and then we do have more Earth energy over here. So it's like there's a need for change, okay? So I feel like you've done a lot of internal change. It's being observed externally. And I'm getting like this is even playing out on a bigger scale, okay? So many of us had to go through this enlightenment process, the choice, the path, like it's like the path of knowledge, right? The tree of knowledge, the tree of life, okay? 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment, happy family, happy life. It's like, that nirvana, like creating your own nirvana, okay? With someone who wants to co-create with God as well. Like this is at the epicenter, like there's 3 in this relationship, but the third party isn't someone else, it's God, it's the beliefs, it's like at the epicenter, okay? The center of all creation is God. And so that's the beautiful aspect of all of this. Queen of Pentacles, someone very resourceful, knows their worth, knows their value, understands what is needed here to be on their own, like they're very independent. And then we have a 4 of Cups, 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords. Like this energy here wanted to take advantage of somebody and maybe didn't value or treat what they had very well, and as a result, like they're dealing with repercussions. I feel like there was a lot that was said about this person that didn't quite deserve it. And I feel like you've moved on from the situation. Okay, I feel like there was something that you needed to learn about yourselves. And I feel like you can either choose the conflict or you can choose the lesson. Okay, and I feel like there's a blessing that you were able to move on from this energy, because I feel like if you stayed, I feel like you would have been at risk. Okay, so for whoever had to like leave a very difficult, toxic situation and start over, I feel like it was the best decision you made in your life. All right. I feel like this energy might have felt like, you might have, I feel like there's this like abandonment wound here that might have been festering beneath the surface. But I feel like someone looked at that abandoned wound and someone else acted upon it over and over and over again. Even involved other people. I feel like somebody else did the healing work. So I feel like there's a different experience here, all right? I feel like somebody chose to heal it and move on. I feel like someone's not wanting someone else to move on. Or they're having a hard time moving on. The Emperor. An Emperor over the Devil. Someone fell from grace. Someone couldn't master their natural instincts. They let their natural instincts get the best of them. Okay, and then I have a Magician, and then I have a Wheel of Fortune. I feel like someone was manifesting someone's ending. And so I feel like they sealed their own fate. This was someone that was meant to be a counterpart. Maybe a karmic contract. It's completed. The Moon, the Three of Cups coming after a High Priestess. Okay. You doing, like, paying money, like someone's financially burdened and restricted as a result of what was been done in the dark. Okay, with this group. Okay, tapping into higher wisdom and higher knowledge and potentially using it and abusing it. What is this? The Tower. They will experience a tower for trying to end an empress. So this is like a downfall of a group, a downfall of some sort of family, friend group. I feel like this is God's wrath here. I feel like this is balance being restored. I feel like they took a chance and tried to impact or change the outcome for a star energy. So this would be like your empath. This would be someone who has, like, you know, some special abilities, someone who has like a really special talent or gift or something that's meant to kind of like inspire and nourish others. So you could have like some sort of healing abilities, but I'm getting like someone sealed their fate trying to come after the destiny of someone in this kind of energy. I feel like, you know, a lot of what this was is a way in which someone came into tune with their abilities. So this very much could have been like a catalyst for an awakening, right? An enlightenment. Okay, it like like an initiation. What's up with that throat chakra? Hierophant. Yeah, this is about like coming here. There was like some sort of commitment, some sort of oath, some sort of agreement, some sort of like contract, soul contract here. Okay, that like there could be like someone who's meant to kind of what am I looking for? I feel like there's some sort of spiritual leadership here, some sort of guidance. There could be some like earth angel guidance here, an earth guide is what I'm hearing. An earth guide to help rebuild after the false foundations. I feel like this represents like suppressing the feminine as well. I feel like this is about like bringing balance back, specifically as it relates to our belief systems, because you can't have a masculine without a feminine. They need to coexist. So I feel like this is like a rebirth. Okay, look at Six of Cups. So yeah, there's some interesting things playing out, because it's not just like within our personal relationships only. It's happening on a grand scale too. Look at the Strength card. The Hermit. Yeah, I feel like things definitely are being illuminated. Okay, things that maybe we don't normally see playing out are about to play out. I feel like somebody was very envious and jealous of a Queen of Pentacles here. And I feel like that's what's coming to the light. That's what's being exposed here. Is just how much maybe somebody, what they endured at the hands of others. As a result of someone not being able to have control of their natural instincts, okay? This is like somebody's like desire running amok, okay? And it ruining their life. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like they worked with others, okay? They didn't do this alone. And I'm getting this was a plan, this was a plot, this was something that was calculated. So it's not like they fell into it. This is something that they all got together and planned out. Okay? There's justice playing out for this. I feel like there may have been something that, you know, that felt like a loss, but I feel like it felt like a loss at the time, but come to find out it was a blessing in disguise, right? I feel like from what you've experienced, the hurt, the pain, the loss, the rejection, the torment, the like being an outcast here, I feel like there's balance being restored here. They could be dealing with like legal issues for coming after you. I have a Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this energy like may have created a business or paid people to stalk, defame, block, harass you. Maybe steal your information or things that you create, something as it relates to the spoken or written word. They may have paid people to attack you and shut you up if you have a platform. Someone may have made an agreement, okay, to take you out, and maybe they were not able to fulfill that agreement, so someone is coming to collect. That's also what I'm getting. Okay. Oh, look at this is the Knight of Pentacles. He's counting those coins. All right, so he's counting his coins. Someone may has a lot of soul contracts here, a lot of karmic contracts here, a lot of conflict here. Conflict over money. So I feel like somebody may be dealing with like legal issues as it relates to finances. They could owe a lot of, they could have a lot of bills and owe people a lot of money. So they may have like borrowed money and everybody's mad because they're not able to pay them back. All right, this person may be dealing with some sort of strife. They may need to pull back from a situation. I feel like there's this energy that could be thinking, maybe investigating or researching. Someone could be stuck in a, like they could not be feeling well. They may be having some sort of like a lack of mental clarity or lack of mental stability. I feel like there's something going on with their mindset. Okay, so they could be like obsessing over something, overthinking, over processing. Maybe they're manic. Okay, we have a, yeah. I feel like what they're doing is they're thinking about a Nine of Pentacles, someone who has financial stability. I feel like they want to kind of bring their sob story over and ask you for a favor. They're thinking about asking you for an agreement, a contract. You seem to be doing really well. Do you think that I could fill in the blank, okay? Because they're not in a good situation. And so they're looking to you, like literally looking up to you, seeing that you're in a better situation than them. And you somehow owe them something, okay? You somehow owe them something. This also is being represented as like maybe what somebody did for the sake of money. Okay, so maybe somebody is with a gold digger and people are finding out about this. I also have Three of Pentacles and the Death. Yeah, I feel like somebody did something for the sake of money. They may have worked with others. This may have been going on at work. The Death card talks about like someone needs to accept the inevitable of a situation. They may want to try to work it out with you or help you around the house, and that's like their barter, their trade. I'm not sure here, but what I'm getting is that it seems, yeah, I feel like they want to get back in your good graces here. I feel like there's this ending here. The Sun card. I feel like there was happiness. You're happy without this energy. I feel like you're constantly on their mind. I feel like you live in their head rent-free. This masculine, you live in their head rent-free. This toxic masculine here. We got the Devil here. Hi, honey. Yeah, I feel like they tried it. I feel like you I feel like you outplayed them, but you weren't even playing, which is the even funnier part. But your spiritual team was like all over this, okay? I feel like what it did is it helped you to grow and develop and exceed and fulfill contracts and pay off your karmic debt, because now you're in like the positive when it comes to like karmic board energy. Like 8 of Swords. Yeah, they're like mentally distraught at this time. They're experiencing, you know, hitting rock bottom, I'm getting. I feel like whatever pain and suffering they created off of, you know, your pain and suffering, I feel like that's all falling apart. If they gloated about how they stuck it to you, I feel like, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, look at. Yeah, someone is learning a very difficult lesson right now. Knight of Cups. Who's the Knight of Cups? Is this a new energy? Yeah, look at, they're going through their own awakening. This could be like an immature Casanova, you know, a player, water sign energy, or it could just be, doesn't have to be water sign, but I'm getting like they very much could be going through some sort of like timeout, some sort of like needing to sacrifice or surrender to a situation so that they can receive enlightenment. Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a need to understand just who you were to them. Okay, so I feel like they could be receiving some sort of information about this. Okay, but I feel like they're so distracted by what's going on in their life that they're being like held to some sort of like timeout. I feel like they're going to receive some truth, some very hard truths with the Knight of Swords. Okay, 2 of Swords. Yeah, I feel like they're about to see things from a different perspective. If they didn't have your perspective and what you went through and experienced with them, they're about to. Okay, and that is justice, my friends. And, you know, sometimes this 3 of Cups is the lesson that needed to be learned. Okay, so everyone understands how you show up in a relationship. Okay, you have free will choices and you're accountable for your actions and how they affect other people. And to think that you're not going to be accountable for that, that's where you got it wrong. All right, so there's some sort of like justice playing out here. Someone may be the sheep. It's like you could have been the bait for divine justice to play out for these people. It's almost like they came against you and then, you know, there was a spiritual lesson involved here. So sometimes like you're in someone's life to teach them a spiritual lesson, and you also learn a spiritual lesson. But they're powerful, life-changing lessons. Like this involved a full-on spiritual awakening, an initiation, you know, all kinds of stuff going on over here. You know, leading to someone in their purpose and, you know, really understanding that they do have a legacy here. And this energy wanted to steal it. They wanted to take. They wanted to abuse it. Okay, so they were tested and they were found out. And so this was all to get the traitor out of the team, okay? Because you can't win, you can't succeed if you've got a traitor on your team. This person, this group of people, they were not for you. They were against you, okay? And they wanted to take from you. They wanted to, you know, climb off of your pain and suffering. That's how they wanted to win. They wanted to win, you know, at all costs. And I'm getting like, they won what they wished on you is what they won, okay? You're pure-hearted, okay? And I feel like this legacy is yours and there's nothing they can do about it. You've worked hard for it, you've earned it, and it's yours. 8 of Pentacles, like you're there, okay? And your victory is, you're successful, you're being supported, okay? I feel like it was a very big coordinated effort, and now you're able to help others as we transition and evolve, right, as a species, right? This talks about like integration, okay? You're helping people integrate and heal their trauma and their karma, and walk that enlightened path and understand their energy and how energy works. Like, you're teaching. This is someone who's like in their craft and they're teaching. You're being seen as someone who's standing up and doing what's right, and working for others in some sort of like higher capacity. This is some sort of recognition. This is like doing things from the heart space and doing what you love and loving what you do, and that's like that reverberation. It's like a reverb. It's kind of like this frequency and vibration. It's just like it emanates. Okay, I feel like this is what you're teaching people to do, which is really awesome, because you want everyone to win. All right, like, you're not in competition with anybody. You're just trying to perfect your craft. And I feel like there are people who like totally respect that. So let's see. What else do you want to tell us about this? My cat, if you hear him, he's just like, I'll be outside in a little bit. Okay, look at this. 3 of Swords. Look at 3 of Swords. I feel like this Knight of Cups is going to experience something similar that maybe they put you through, so that there is this understanding of like, oh, you thought you could trust this person? You thought you knew this person? You thought that this person was the end-all be-all? And you invested all this time and energy into this person? And then all of a sudden they betray you and treat you like the option, just like you treated the person that you were with. I feel like there's this like whole situationship playing out here. I feel like there's a lot of like influence here. So this could be substances, it could be distractions, it could be earthly desires, it could be someone not able to tame their natural instincts, and so they're so easily tempted. Okay, it's like falling for temptation and not having anything to like stand on, right? It's like, what do you stand for, right? Like, what's important to you, right? Because you're being distracted by all the things that aren't really important. So it's like, get it together, right? Someone needs to get it together. I feel like everybody's talking about maybe all of this that's been going on here, okay? Yeah. Yeah, this is like leaving this behind. It's like, new chapter, check, please. Making plans for the future. I feel like you're about to embark on an adventure, okay? There's that 2 of Pentacles, which brings you to the 10. All right, look at this 2 of Cups in reverse. Like, there's no love lost here, okay? And they're not happy. They're so fake. I feel like the truth about this couple and all the shit that they did, they're feeling the burden now. Like, if they wanted you to feel burdened, they're the burden. Someone is realizing like they didn't win any kind of prize. All right, you release this gratefully. I feel like there's some sort of shift playing out here. You feel it, you know it, you sense it. You're about to take off. You got 2-2 here. All right. Look at, and then you get a little help from the who. Ace of Wands. This is like a creative spark. This is something that like is taking initiative. Look at 3 of Swords, 3. It's somebody they work with, I think. I feel like they're dealing with a karmic cycle, karmic contracts here. There may be, people may be finding out what's going on at work with this energy here. So I feel like something is definitely coming to the light. I feel like part of what you're doing is like helping people heal from heartbreak, betrayal, and deception, because you have the experience. You've been through it yourself. This could be with somebody, or this could be you. This could be you mastering your mind. Maybe you're well-spoken, traveled, someone who's super intellectual. This could be also like an authority figure, maybe filling you in about what they were doing behind your back. There could be like legal ramifications here. So there's that. This also could be someone who's associated to this group that knows the truth and may speak it. But I'm also getting this represents like some sort of maybe higher studies. Okay. There's something that you might be gaining wisdom and knowledge on. Then we have a Knight of Swords. I feel like somebody might want to talk about someone else. Yeah, I feel like they're feeling the pressure to tell the truth about somebody and what was really going on behind the scenes. Somebody thought that they, you know, were the shit, and that, you know, it was cool to kind of entertain all of these things and be like the big guy on campus. I'm getting like, I don't know, there's some sort of like, yeah, Ace of Swords. Yeah, there's some sort of like evidence coming out now about what you were saying the whole time, but everyone listened to this other person and their lies and said that like maybe you were the one that was betraying them, but all along they were entertaining and trying to get away with it. So they were lying on your name and saying it was you, but it was really them. I feel like they're the one that's like in the battered, bruised, shitty situations. I feel like your energy speaks for itself, and so does theirs. I feel like there's a lot of clarity about what this person was doing, okay, behind the scenes when you were supposed to be in a commitment with them. Okay, I feel like they did more than what meets the eye, and I feel like finally it's coming out. Okay, so if you were praying for like things to come to the light, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's crazy how like there was like some sort of like infiltration too. 8 of Wands. Yeah, I'm getting like there's a lot of action going on. So it might be like someone is left out of all the action, all the talk, all the gossip. I feel like there's a whole group talking about them. And then I have an Ace of Cups. Yeah, I feel like somebody has like a lot of love for you. Okay, this might have been someone that you knew through them, or this is just someone on the outside looking in, or this person is now realizing that you actually had love for them and you were true. But, you know, here's the thing, like, you know, I feel like there's a need to, and this, there could be like recognition, right? That, you know, you are, yeah, I feel like there's something special about you. I feel like there's like a Queen of Cups. Okay, 7 of Pentacles. I feel like regardless of what you experienced with this person, you didn't let it ruin your heart. You're still that loving, caring, kind, sweet, empathic person, right? Like, even though like you didn't know all the information, you still knew what you needed to know. You're psychic and you're empathic. You're very like tapped in. All right. You have strong connection to emotions and consciousness. I feel like, you know, you are a better person for it. I feel like you took the experience and you made something with it. It's almost like making lemons out of lemonade. It's like, you know, planting these seeds and nurturing something, and it's for the greater good. Like, everybody can benefit from this beautiful tree, but you focused on yourself and your own development, not everybody else. All right, so I feel like your hard work is speaking for itself. And I feel like you going within and healing your heart so that you can, you know, help other people with the kindness that you have. I feel like that's what people are coming to observe is who you truly are, not what this person said you are. Okay. Yeah, there's that 9 of Cups. Okay, yeah, there was a lot of indulgence over here. There was a lot of partying. There was a lot of drinking. I feel like there was a lot of shenanigans. Okay. Someone thought that they were hot shit. Okay. And then they're not. This energy just depletes other people. It's like they find where there's abundance and they drain the shit out of it. Okay, so they're kind of like an energy vampire. I'm kind of getting someone who's like a bit of a bully. They could be experiencing like, you know, being left out in the cold and out in the dark and like nobody wanting to be involved with them. They may have like depleted all their resources, maybe have issues with relationships, friendships, like, you know, maybe they're having a difficult time with substances here. It may need some professional help, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice, but I feel like somebody is, as you know, really experiencing the despair of things at this point. I don't think they really thought that this would catch up to them. I think they always thought that like they would be on the up and up, right? Like there was this like, you know, everything's gonna be hunky-dory. I'm getting like, no. No, like, you know, there's some sort of like idea, there's some like how do we create something. They want to create some sort of mess. Yeah, like this Page of Wands is they want to take their misery, okay, and make it your misery because they're abandoned and rejected for taking the actions that they actually took. So I feel like this energy wants to kind of like, because they're miserable, make you miserable, or kind of like trauma dump on you, right? I feel like you're needing to protect your energy at this time, all right? This person's problems and who they created the problems with are not yours, okay? So let them deal with their own mess, all right? They need to clean up their own mess. Yeah, I feel like this is confirming that like there is this beautiful exchange, this like kinship here. I feel like you have a soulmate coming in, and I feel like things are going to be picking up a bit. Okay, yeah, and then here comes Knight of Wands. So I feel like they could be coming from a distance, or you could be going from a distance, coming and going from a distance. I feel like this is an energy that's passionate, very motivating, inspiring. Someone who takes action. Like I'm getting like lots of charisma. Yeah. Look at King of Wands, Knight of Wands, like lots of charisma, like go-getter energy, like come on, you know, we've got stuff to do, you know, like there's no time to waste. It's like Regulators Mount Up by like Warren G. It's like Regulators Mount Up. I feel like this is also like gonna ignite your soul, your passion, what you get fired up about. I feel like there is like someone who's being chosen, selected, picked out, recognized, acknowledged, supported. Someone is most definitely in alignment for you. Okay, so this could be you taking this inspired action and going forward and having community support in doing so, but this I'm also getting could be someone coming towards you. So you could be the feminine or the masculine. Take it, switch it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's energy, but I'm getting like something is definitely on its way. I feel like this past energy will be continuing to be like in their feels, if you will. They may have a hard time finding clarity here. They may be really stuck in their addiction. Then I have a Five of Wands. Yeah, I feel like, you know, there's with the Five of Wands, I feel like they will always feel like they're having to compete. Okay, so there's this conflict and this heaviness. I feel like, you know, there was this grand effort too that they now may need to deal with. Okay, I feel like there was a lot of action that was taken here. So there very well could be repercussions for that. Yeah, I feel like you're meant to kind of like share your blessings, share your gift, share your medicine. This is like an act of charity or an act of generosity. You could be very generous with your energy. Or what you do, you could share, right? You speak, you could write, you could coordinate, you could, all kinds of beautiful energy here. Okay, you could pray for a living, you could be an entrepreneur, you could, you know, do all kinds of wonderful things. But I feel like whatever you do, I feel like, you know, you're being honored in your space. I feel like the energy that wants to kind of like head towards you and create some sort of like mess is going to be stopped in their tracks. I'm getting with the 9 of Cups, they may want to like rush towards you while intoxicated, but I feel like, you know, that's not a wise choice. I feel like there is a lot of like ill will. Yeah, here's a Page of Pentacles here. Somebody wants to rush in and have a fresh start, but things have been closed. Okay, so there's no access. It's access denied. Okay, so whatever they want to bring to you can't be reached. 9 of Wands, they find themselves kind of blocked, prevented, like there's some sort of fence, there's some sort of like they may not be able to get around whatever they're trying to get around. Okay, yeah, because look, 9 of Wands, 10 of Swords, they're being defeated, they're hitting rock bottom, and this will prevent them kind of, you know, having any progress in any kind of way that could continue to contribute in towards any other conflicts, okay, especially as it relates to you. Okay, so I feel like there's like something here playing out. It's not quite finished yet, but it will be soon, and this will represent the ending. This will be like a finale, and then I feel like, you know, there is this like amazing opportunity, a contract, something like an oath for your troubles. It's like a blessing from the divine. It's like a job well done. Jeez. 9 of Swords. Ooh, I feel like their worst fear is you receiving what they seek so hard. They seek financial gratification, like instant gratification, wanting wealth, wanting the appearance of wealth, like the greed, the envy, like all of the things. I feel like this is also a blessing, you being the blessing, you receiving a gift. Okay, I feel like there is this like angst about this. There's an angst about, you know, any kind of value associated here. They did the most to devalue you so that you felt like them, because this is how they truly feel. And I feel like you didn't do that. Like you use this to create something new from, and as a result of creating something new that it's going to help others, I feel like there's this like healing and transcendence that plays out. Yeah, and then we have a King of Pentacles. And then we have a 10 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like, you know, this pain and suffering and not feeling like enough and being the victim, that's their burden to bear. And I feel like you're free and clear, and you will have a fresh start, a new beginning, a blessing somewhere else. They can keep their, you know, burdens. They're not yours. That's their karma to pay back. 8 of Cups, like you're moving on with your life. You're soul searching, right? You're interested in what's new, not what's already like experienced. You're moving on to new love. I feel like you've mastered your emotions in this process. You no longer overgive or people please. Okay, I feel like 2 of Cups. I feel like no one, you know, is going to fulfill this energy. They will constantly search the rest of their life for something that will fulfill them. the thing is that the only thing that can fulfill them is them. And so if they would get out of their, you know, mind and get into their heart, they'll realize that, like, yeah, like once you start loving yourself, like that's when, you know, everything kind of like evens out again. I feel like somebody did the most to get this person, you know, into some sort of like imbalance here. This is someone who's like feeding an addiction. It's created an imbalance. I feel like they both have this in common. I feel like one may need to leave the other, okay? Otherwise, like, you're going to go down with the ship, okay? Someone's about to go down with the ship. And I feel like someone doesn't give a shit. Like, that's how they operate. I feel like they'll do anything for a blank. I have a Queen of Wands, a Page of Cups, 3 of Wands, that's 4 Wands. We have 7 Wands, we have 4 Wands, 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like, you know, this is like something that really, this could be like this person may be holding a child over this person, and as a result, like, they're having to stand their ground. I feel like they might be causing some sort of like blockage for this person to move on with their life. I feel like that might be why you're able to continue to create and have this sense of accomplishment. I feel like you're reaching a level of expertise. Okay, so I feel like that's really amazing. There's some sort of like recognition here. There's also like celebrating your life and being able to help people reach this for themselves through something that you do, right? So what if you're like a wedding planner and, you know, you help people have the best memories, and so like you have such an impact on people. You're very powerful. You have a strong influence, and maybe, you know, people discredited your business or your abilities, or they talk shit about you and said like you do a terrible job, don't hire them. Like, you know, that's defamation of someone's character and their business and their ability, you know, to fairly, you know, operate. And so that's illegal. So I'm getting like I feel like you've overcome whatever that is. So this could be like, you know, the mean girls at work, or, you know, the guys at the gym that are in competition with you because, you know, you had some girl that you met up with in common, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that catty bullshit, right? But it comes from a deep wound of abandonment and not feeling like enough. And I'm getting like someone, you know, has been filling themselves up with like poison long enough. Like, you know, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I feel like it's created enough turmoil in someone's life that they have to kind of do an about face and like make some serious changes. Okay, like someone really needs to decide. They have a free will choice to go in a different direction and seek the healing, the guidance, the support, the recovery, okay? Or even just like the solitude, the quiet, removing yourself from someone or something, you know, choosing peace in a situation and moving away from the rough waters and the turbulence. Okay, there's a need to kind of like evolve and grow through life and overcome challenges, right? That's why we're here. So it's kind of like at some point, you know, like you have to see all those bottles around you if that's what is being depicted here. I'm seeing cups, empty cups. So I feel like, you know, whatever is going on, nothing's fulfilling anybody. It's just draining them. So it's kind of like, what's the point if all it is doing is draining you and leaving you worse than how you started? So it's kind of like, all right, am I feeling drained by this? Am I feeling empowered by this? Do I feel creative? Do I feel inspired? Do I feel exhausted? Right? Tuning into yourself to know like, okay, where am I? What's my temperature? And how can I bring it back to balance? All right. So do what you can to kind of like focus on you, right? That's where it all begins. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have the most amazing day. And I hope you have a great weekend. Okay. So see you on the next reading. Bye now.